fall. I won't shed a tear for them to see. And I won't have your name to call. 'Cause I will be the last to fall.
October 17th.
Welcome to Jackhammer Promotions Fall Brawl 10, The Legacy. We're streaming live tonight on Jackhammer Promotions' official website, jackhammerfights.com. I'm Carroll, alongside Jackhammer professional champion and fighter Dan Cion. Dan, how you doing?
How's it going, Kyle? I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back here, and good to be back, you know?
Pleasure to have you. We'll be commentating together. Cheers to that. We'll enjoy a quick beverage. But as we go, let's make sure you order the pay-per-view tonight on jackhammerfights.com. If you're not watching, if you don't have tickets here, make sure you tune in tonight on jackhammerfights.com. You don't want to miss it. The return of Bobby Campbell, the Jackhammer, after 4 years of retirement. He comes back in to fight Jason Hins, the Canadian, for 3 titles in the welterweight division. And then, but let's go into the co-main event right away. We got Jesse McBroom welcoming back Keith Nesbitt once again in the Jackhammer Promotions K9 175 title championship. Last time the two fought, one round. Keith Nesbitt caught Jesse McBroom with a spinning back fist, and then McBroom came at him real fast with some big right hands to finish it in the first round. Let's go into that. What does Nesbitt have to do to win this fight?
You gotta, if I was cornering Keith Nesbitt, I'd be working on withstanding that first onslaught, because he got put out in the first, so Jesse's gonna come hard to try to put him out in the first again. So you have to withstand that storm. You have to recover. I wouldn't go with the spinning back fist again. I would try to stick to more simplistic things to set something up, but definitely try to weather that first storm, because if he gets through that, then that builds your confidence that, okay, I'm in here, I can keep this fight going. But I don't know. I don't know if this plays out any different. I really don't. It's a tough fight. Jesse's a tough dude. Keith's a tough dude, but I just don't. It's too short of a turnaround, maybe.
Absolutely. In the last fight, right after the loss for Nesbitt, he announced his retirement. McBroom was supposed to fight someone else. Someone backed out, and Nesbitt stepped up to keep the show going. So props to Keith Nesbitt for coming out of short retirement and getting back in there. I agree with you. I don't think it's really going to be much of a difference. I think if Nesbitt wants to get something done, he has to be the attacker and get in Jesse's face early to move Jesse back and try and catch him early. That's the only way I think this thing changes.
Yeah, because you can't be offensive if you're defensive. But to coincide with your point, 100%. It's a big thing, him stepping in short notice. I think it was literally 2 days or something that you were telling me earlier that he found out. So hopefully he was still training or training fighters or somewhat ready where it's not just, yeah, I could still do this. It's more of like I was ready to still do this.
Absolutely. And then another featured fight tonight. Rene Ducos defends his ISKA New York State amateur title against Faris Lyle at 147. What can we expect from this fight? It's a 5-round fight.
So, I think this is the classic technical fighter versus the more power puncher fighter. I'll give the power to Faris, but I give the technical work to Rene. You've seen Rene's fights. We know that he could go 5 rounds and he stays technical through that whole. That's a matter of, everyone has a puncher's chance. I think
Absolutely.
You're going to look for a good 5-round fight on that. It should be an evenly fought out fight.
And, I expect this fight either is going to end real quick in the first or second round, early in the second, or we're going to get 5 rounds of great action from these two fighters.
100%.
Like you said, both great strikers, so a lot to expect from this featured fight in the amateur division for the 147 championship title and the K1 rules. And then we're going to go to the undercard with some great matchups. We have 7 fights lined up. One of the matchups, we got Isaiah Williams and Malik Smith in the heavyweight for 3 rounds K1 rules. What else can we expect from this?
I'm interested for this one. I'm definitely interested. I've watched Malik Smith go from super heavyweight down to 185 and back, and he always comes to fight. Whether win or lose, he's in there. So it should be a good one. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be this. When it's ever heavyweights, I feel the same way you felt about the last one. It's either going to be over in the first, or we're going to get a 3-round war where they get their recovery if they're in shape and they get those second wins, and all of a sudden there's flurries in every round, So that should be an interesting one.
Absolutely, and at the beatdown 4, both fighters fought, but they were MMA fights. Isaiah Williams had a big slam and smothered his opponent to not submit him, but got TKO by smothering him into submission. So, and then Malik Smith, I believe, had a TKO via strikes as well. So great showing by both of them in the last fight. I think both of them bringing out championship contender caliber striking in this fight. And then another one, we got Jomar Grenade versus CJ Louis. What can we expect in that fight?
Biasly, I can't even answer that because I train CJ Louis, but I've had 2 looks now at Jomar. He fought my guy Mario Pena from Black Rooster 2 Jackhammer shows ago, and then he fought Mike Berg from East Coast the last Jackhammer show. So I think we match up well, but it's CJ's first fight, so that always worries me with a fighter because you don't know what it's like to walk out there until you walk out there. I could train you 10,000 times to be prepared for every scenario, but then when the adrenaline hits, the crowd hits, all of a sudden you don't know what's going on, and you go to whatever instinct you have. So, shout out to East Coast MMA where we train CJ out of, but biasly, I got to pick my guy on that one, so that's where I'm leaning.
Absolutely, and before we get into the main event, this broadcast is sponsored by ProFit Gym in Deer Park, Long Island, New York. Make sure you go check them out. Doing a great job. Fantastic gym. You train there alongside Anthony. Beautiful facilities. I saw new machines coming in. Excellent facility, and Alex will be here tonight with a table to hand out free passes to the fans in the stands. And then also Carroll's Corner MMA podcast and MyMMAnews.com, your #1 source for MMA news. Make sure you check out the podcast as well as some great articles and news always coming at you. So we're going to dive into the main event starting right at 7 p.m. tonight. JackhammerFights.com live stream. Bobby Campbell, the Jackhammers, taking on Jason the Hatter Hins in the main event for the welterweight title. We're going for the ISKA, WKL, and the USKBA welterweight world titles. Let's get right into it. Jason Hins, the keys to the fight we're going to go into. The keys to the fight, pressing forward. How important is that for Jason Hins?
I don't think Jason Hins needs to press forward as much as he needs to keep Bobby at bay. There's a huge difference of getting in close because Jason Hins is a Muay Thai fighter. That was his main style. This is just an American kickboxing fight. So there's no clinching, there's no knees. So he doesn't want to be in that range because he's not used to punching in that range. If Bobby comes in tight, Bobby has the advantage there throwing the hands. So I think more of him using his long limbs because he's taller to keep Bobby at bay is where he needs to play.
Absolutely. Like you said, full contact rules. Answering the volume, I think Bobby's going to bring a lot of volume in his game. Is Hins going to be able to answer the volume?
That's the thing is when Bobby starts throwing, because of Bobby's boxing and kickboxing background, it is multiple punches. So it's a matter of, can he stand in there and not have that ability to clinch? Maybe he's got to hug and grab, but you can only do that so much. You know, the kind of Holyfield Tyson style, like every time he gets in close, hug him. But volume's hard to deal with. And when someone's in shape and can throw a lot, and I can vouch that Bobby's in shape, I was down there sparring him. I had my guys down there sparring him. He's ready to go. So
Absolutely. He's been putting on a lot of rounds. Then explosion. How important is it for Jason Hinz to throw explosive strikes, explosive kicks, and then get that upper hand and kind of land the significant strikes?
Well, that's Muay Thai. Muay Thai is all power strikes. There's really not a lot of touching or feeling. You know, like when they throw, it's with bad intentions. So I expect him, when he throws, for it to be hard. The advantage that I feel he has in this fight is, even though he can't kick low, which he might be used to, they're wearing those shin guards where Bobby always fought
with shin guards.
So he won't be affected if he kicks Bobby in the elbow and hits it on the shin bone. You know, he'll be used to that. His shins will be conditioned for that. So I'm looking for him to throw a lot of like 2-punch combinations with kicks, but they'll be all heavy.
Absolutely, and the last key of the fight for Jason Hinz is finish it early. I believe in order for him to win this fight, he has to finish Bobby early in the earlier rounds. Bobby's got a lot of stamina. How important is this?
Yeah, I mean, that volume punching adds up when the rounds get longer. When you get into that 10th, 11th round and you've taken a lot of shots, it wears on you. They may not even hurt or have the same pop anymore, but now you've taken so many that it's kind of like the life bar in a video game. You know what I mean? Each time he gets hit, it goes down a little until he's not there anymore. So, yeah, I agree. I feel for his name's Jason, correct?
Jason, yes.
Yep. So I believe that Jason needs to finish early, hit hard, maybe try to rock Bobby, which is hard to do. Bobby has a pretty strong chin, but, you know, get him hurt early, and then that way it kind of makes him retreat.
Absolutely, and like we said, we're fighting tonight at Mulcahy's on Long Island, New York, in Wantor. So Jason Hinz is coming from Toronto all the way down to Long Island. He made the travel a few days ago. He arrived, and he's been here since, hanging out in the hotel, sparring out there, doing a little bit of training, or warming up, really, for the fight. Now we're going into the keys of the fight for Bobby the Jackhammer Campbell. Keys of the fight, footwork. I think Bobby's footwork, avoiding, like you're saying, staying out, getting inside and getting out, circling Jason Hinz, 100%. I believe is important.
100% angles. Once you're in small little steps or angle changes, and keep making Hinz turn, but while he's turning, Bobby's got to be throwing. And so now you're defensive turning, you can't be offensive. And once again, used to Muay Thai where you could clinch, grab, knee, elbow. Can't do any of that here. So once Bobby's in, that's Bobby's range. Bobby's home there, you know? So
absolutely.
Bobby definitely has to get in and use his footwork to get jab, and footwork is where I would go as his advantage there to get in, is what he needs to do.
Absolutely, and then establish the jab, another key to the success for Bobby. You just mentioned
I didn't even know you had that on there.
Yep, so jab, like how important is to pepper Jason Hinz with these shots when he's in and out?
You have to live and die by your jab. You know what I mean? So you can't, you have to throw something coming in. You can't just walk forward. And if you have a solid jab, it's hard to defend. And then once again, Muay Thai guys don't jab a lot, and they do, but they're not the same as a boxer's jab. So I think Bobby has to use that a lot as his key weapon and just keep touching.
Absolutely. And then deep waters, I think Bobby gets this fight into longer rounds. He's got better stamina. I believe that's going to play a role in his success in tonight's fight.
100%. You know, it's hard to swim when you're in there. That's the reality of it. It's easy to talk it. It's easy to go 3, 4, 5 rounds. When you get into those 10, 11 rounds, you're getting dragged in there and you're tired and you're getting hit on. It's hard to stay together.
Absolutely. And then the last key to success for Bobby Campbell is avoid the explosive attacks by Jason Hinz. We talked about earlier if he wants to throw explosive kicks, explosive strikes, how important is this for Bobby to stay away and avoid those big strikes early?
Well, I feel like that goes back to his footwork and entrance. Absolutely. Because if he's in, he can't fire off those power kicks that he would be able to fire at an outer range. So if you get in, you take away that kicking ability, there's no knees. And Bobby's got to look to counter right away. If it's one kick, there has to be counters right behind it to stop that explosiveness. You don't want to get kicked, have him reset, kick again. So I think Bobby being in his range takes away that explosiveness.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us for this broadcast and the pre-fight show. Make sure you go online right now and order the pay-per-view at jackhammerfights.com. Order the pay-per-view. Watch the fights. Myself, Kyle Carroll, will be alongside Dan K9 Cion to commentate the fights and deliver the play-by-play action. So we hope you join us tonight. jackhammerfights.com. You don't want to miss this.
Cheers.
Good one.